The once giant, but now incredibly troubled crypto exchange FTX now owes its creditors over $3 billion. After reviewing a list of the top 50 unsecured creditors of FTX, without their names or other personally identifying information, we see that the largest unsecured creditor is owed more than $226 million. Insane, right? The second largest unsecured creditor is pursuing about $203 million in overdue commitments from FTX. You can see that FTX has totally crumbled. So what will happen now? Also, why have they paused all withdrawals? Let's take a look. First up, the recently collapsed cryptocurrency FTX reportedly owes 50 creditors more than $3 billion. So what are they going to do? The cryptocurrency exchange FTX has recently filed for bankruptcy protection in the United States, claiming that it owes its 50 largest creditors close to $3.1 billion. The exchange claimed in a court filing that its top 10 creditors are owed over $1.45 billion, but refrained from naming them. On November 11th, FTX and its associates filed for bankruptcy in one of the biggest and most recent crypto meltdowns. As a result of this, millions of consumers and other investors are anticipated to have lost billions of dollars. Ouch. On Saturday, the Bitcoin exchange revealed that it had begun a strategic assessment of its global assets and had begun listing some businesses for sale or reorganization. Now, FTX's infamous founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, resigned from CEO earlier this month as the former crypto giant company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. FTX, which had once had a value of over $32 billion, fell in just a couple of days after the CEO of Binance declared that his exchange will completely liquidate all of its FTT tokens. As a result, the value of FTT, which is the native coin of FTX, dropped rapidly, depleting its supply. There is currently an investigation as to what happened and how FTX experienced such an unprecedented downfall. The cost of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies dropped on Monday. Now, as a result of FTX's fall, the value of the entire crypto market has decreased by more than $260 billion, and it is suspected that this will be felt throughout the digital market for quite some time. As for Bankman-Fried, he has been charged with severe fraud and mismanagement by colleagues in the Bitcoin industry. His exchange allegedly used customer funds to place risky trades. The death of the corporation last week was devastatingly described by John Ray III, who's now the CEO of FTX, who said that several of the FTX group companies didn't have proper corporate governance. Then, in a statement, FTX asserted that it had solid evidence proving that the exchange had handed over assets to the government of the Bahamas. The CEO of the new company wants to sell or restructure its enormous business, but do you think FTX will ever be able to recover? And will people want to invest in this crypto exchange again? Surely, all trust has been lost. Speaking of FTX, the exchange has officially paused all withdrawals. Here's why. This year has seen plenty of painful failures that have hurt crypto investors worldwide. Who can forget earlier this year the so-called stablecoin Terra USD's demise, which impacted several businesses and then led to the subsequent demise of Three Arrows Capital, a prominent hedge fund. Now, the most recent market crash involving FTX has brought up concerns about the opaqueness of major cryptocurrency players, frequently hailed as being more decentralized and transparent than traditional finance. Now, the cryptocurrency company declared on Twitter on November 20th that Liquid has stopped all trading operations on its platform in accordance with instructions from FTX Trading. The Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceeding was still going on in the Delaware courts, therefore the Liquid exchange allegedly stopped any forms of trading, which means withdrawals have been halted as well. In light of Liquid's operational suspension, the exchange 5 days ago put a halt to all withdrawals from its platform, claiming compliance with the terms of voluntary Chapter 11 proceedings. The Financial Services Agency of Japan had earlier requested that FTX Japan, a local affiliate of FTX, suspend business orders on November 10th. Furthermore, according to various online sources, some of FTX's companies, including FTX Japan, Coin, FTX Turkey Technology ve Ticaret, FTX EU, FTX Exchange FZE, and Zuber Exchange, were in debt. So as you can see, the crypto exchange appears to have been doomed from the very start, with all associated companies now suffering. In similar crypto news, an Estonian couple have been charged with $575 million Bitcoin fraud. Estonian police have detained two individuals on suspicion of orchestrating a $575 million cryptocurrency fraud that took a huge hit on thousands of victims. Sergei Potapenko and Ivan Turagin, two Estonians, two 37-year-olds, are accused of convincing individuals to invest in hash Hashflare, a Bitcoin mining service, and Polybius, a phony online bank. According to an official statement from the U.S. Department of Justice, the two are charged with conspiring to commit money laundering and, of course, wire fraud. Now, each of these charges carry a maximum 20-year prison sentence, and according to a recent announcement, the defendants have appeared in court in Tallinn, the capital of Estonia, and are currently being detained pending extradition to the U.S. Now, their reps did not immediately respond with any comments, but we know from various online sources that the two allegedly misled victims by allowing them to invest in Hashflare's Bitcoin mining operations. Computing power is extensively used during the crypto mining process, which employs computers to create virtual currency for financial gain. From 2015 to 2019, Hashflare contracts are estimated to have been bought by customers worldwide for more than $50 million, but it's claimed that the operation exaggerated its powers. According to reports, victims were also rewarded if they invested in Polybius, which we already mentioned is a virtual bank that Mr. Potapenko and Mr. Turigan said they had founded. The accused allegedly raised $25 million in this manner, although no actual bank was ever established. So you may be wondering, what did they do with all of this money? Well, they purchased at least 75 homes and high-end vehicles using shell businesses designed to launder illegal money. The collaborative investigation, which encompassed 100 individuals, including 15 from the American side, was described as lengthy and wide by Oscar Gross of the Estonian Police Cybercrime Branch. According to him, it was one of the biggest fraud cases they've ever seen in Estonia. Following this coming to light, authorities in the nation issued a warning stating that technology had broadened the possibility of fraud. So this is your warning. Always be cautious when investing in any kind of cryptocurrency and do your research. Also, never invest anything that you can't afford to lose. Speaking of FTX, what happens when a crypto company goes bankrupt? The possibility of loss is the main drawback of cryptocurrencies, and it is considerably harder to control when a cryptocurrency corporation is keeping your coins. Crypto exchange FTX experienced severe liquidity difficulty in November 2022 and filed for Chapter 11 protection. Two significant cryptocurrency trading platforms, Voyager and Celsius, also filed for bankruptcy in July 2022. But what does that mean for those who invested? Well, first of all, the demise of Voyager and Celsius has brought to light the unique risks that cryptocurrency owners and investors take on by putting their money in such hands. These two scenarios resulted in investors losing well over $1 billion. Voyager submitted a Chapter 11 bankruptcy petition on July 1, 2022. Consumers should be given a complete return of their American dollar deposits according to the business. However, it was unable to say how much of their cryptocurrency holdings would be given back to customers. It stated that the company had $1.3 billion in cryptocurrency assets that were owned by customers at the time of the bankruptcy filing. On a similar note, Celsius Network, a major Bitcoin lending network, filed for bankruptcy less than 2 weeks later on July 13, 2022, around a month after Celsius ceased all transfers, swaps, and withdrawals between customer accounts. Then, in a document submitted to the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in New York, Celsius disclosed that it owes nearly $1.2 billion more than it has on hand. So we've said it before and we'll say it again. All cryptocurrency users should consider any potential risks connected to the exchange or loan platform they are currently using, if any, given that the customers of Voyager and Celsius are unable to withdraw their Bitcoin assets and are now stuck with huge losses. Finally, this brings us to our last big question mark: who exactly gets the priority when it comes to bankruptcy? Now, there is a defined line of command regarding who receives payment for the residual assets during Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings. Investors may not lose everything, even if a corporation owns $1 billion more than it has in assets. Under Chapter 11, the bankrupt corporation has to publish a comprehensive schedule of assets and liabilities in addition to other financial statements and reports. The business, attorneys, and a bankruptcy court work to determine who receives what throughout the bankruptcy process. According to the law, secured creditors often receive the first payments. After fulfilling such commitments, money is used to pay off debts owed to unsecured creditors. Unfortunately, investors come in almost last when it comes to getting their money back. Everyone is informed of their pro rata portion once the pool of assets to be repaid to individual investors has been computed. Consumers would receive about 90% of their deposits back, for instance, if the business owes customers $100 million but has $90 million left over after paying off debt. Unfortunately, guys, that is all the time we have for today. So make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and as always, thanks for watching.